Hi everyone and welcome to Season 2, Episode 5 of PSG Pain Purge with me, the United City FM. This is our series to try and win the Champions League with PSG within 3 seasons of starting up the game. We're currently at the quarter-final stages in Season 2, having been knocked out at this point last season by Barcelona. We've now been drawn against Manchester City, so it doesn't get any easier at all, but after the first leg away from home, we do have a slender 2-1 lead. Can we keep hold of that today and go through? Let's find out. So indeed, it is going to be a really tricky game today. Man City 2-1 up after the first game though, so that's decent, but it's a very slender lead. Can we keep hold of it? We're going to find out in a little while. If you're new to the channel though, let me know in the comments below. Say hi, introduce yourself. Whether you're new or not though, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that. Click that subscribe button and maybe even the notification bell. That will keep you up to date with all of the videos that I release. Maybe even click a little crafty like on the episode for me as well, just at this point before we all forget and move on with our days. But that would be really great as well, just to help continue to build the channel. So if you could do those things, that would be great. But today, as I say, it's all about the quarter-final second leg in the Champions League. Let's see how we get on. So fortunately, at this point in the season, having had a few recently, we don't actually have any injury issues other than one to Colin Dagba, who's a real backup player in the full-back position. So no major problem there. But other than that, everybody is fit and healthy and raring to go today. So we've got exactly the 18 players on the pitch and on the bench that I really would want to put there. So that's really fantastic for a game like Man City in the Champions League. Just before that, though, I've just realised we didn't look at the recent results. There wasn't any great reason to particularly. I mean, look at that run of form. We're just winning every game. That's the simple reality of it. So we've done very well since the Tottenham game where we went through in the previous round. What's that? 3 straight wins in the Ligue 1, or four straight wins. So it's pretty good. And if we go and just quickly look at the table, you can see we're miles ahead in the domestic stuff. We are absolutely dominating it, as you'd expect. And so there's no problem with that. It means that I'm able to rotate my squad a little bit here and there in the lead up to these Champions League games, which is fantastic because it really keeps the players fit and healthy. And this is the result of it. We get the 18 players on the pitch, as I say, or on the bench that I really want. So for today's game, it's going to be a tricky one, but for today's game, Ederson in goal, Alexander-Arnold at right back, Mendy at left back, Marquinhos and Laporte in central defence, Rabiot, Pogba and Alberto in central midfield, with Mbappe on the right, Neymar on the left and Icardi up top, with a bench of Kimpembe, Mbabu, Camavinga, Verratti, Sarabia, Jones and Edouard. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So I've calmly suggested to the players that this is a great opportunity to show everybody that they've been right to back you up for this particular campaign. So hopefully that will just encourage them without going too full bore at them. But it's a day for a kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Concentration, that's the word I'm looking for. Just keep concentrated on the job at hand, keep the ball well if possible, and play those good short passes around, make Man City chase it as much as we can. You know they're going to have a decent amount of possession, it's their style of play, so hopefully that's what we can achieve. Alexander-Arnold with a throw-in down the right-hand side, Mbappe takes over, runs to the edge of the box, and then inside or outside, Bernat, one of our previous former players that we sold to City, has he just given away a penalty? That's a very close call on the edge of the box. They are checking for it. I can't tell, to be honest. It might have been inside, but just as much might have been outside as well. Let's see what the referee has to say. Comes out, and he does give a penalty. Our old boy Bernat has absolutely shot them in the foot early in the game. 9 minutes in, and we get a chance to convert a penalty. Icardi with the chance, and he misses. Oh, a perfect opportunity to take an early lead in this second leg, and he sends the ball slightly wide of the goal from the penalty spot. And Bernat can sigh a real sigh of relief there for him. Of course, we've got a couple of Man City old boys ourselves, Ederson and Mendy, we both bought from Man City, and Laporte. We did do quite a lot of business with Man City last summer. And so they've had to rearrange their side. They've got Navas, of course, and Bernat from our squad in theirs. So we've had a bit of a switch around. Let's see who comes out on top through that. So far, other than that very early penalty, there's been literally nothing to talk about. We've got through to half-time, and there were no more highlights at all. Man City have only had one shot at goal, and it was on target. We've had 3 shots, and none of them on target. And it's been a little bit dull, but that kind of suits us, doesn't it, really? Would you take this at this point? Protecting a 2-1 lead, having missed a chance at a penalty? I think a quiet first half isn't a bad thing at all. How do we keep it that way? That's the question. So we're going to go quite chilled out, I think. Let's put the hands together and just say, you've played well, but there's still room for improvement. Just keep them very, very chilled, very composed and focused on the job at hand. And let's see if we can see this game out. It's a Man City goal kick, and they've taken the chance to play it short out of the defence, and then found a way to get onto the right-hand side. Walker on the overlap, faces up against Mendy. Mendy stood up to him quite well, but they still gets it to Sterling. Back to Walker, playing the ball nicely down the right-hand side. Is there a chance for a cross? There is, and it was an easy goal for Man City in the end. De Bruyne took over the chance on that right-hand side to get the cross in, working well with Sterling and Walker. And in the end, he finds he's completely on his own. Quite why that central midfield player hadn't gone across with him at all, I don't know. But Foden sneaks in just in advance of the penalty spot and has a simple tap in, really. And we've got a few issues now. Now, of course, we've got the 2 away goals compared to 1 for them at the moment. So at the moment, we're doing okay, but we can't afford to let in another goal, and we could do with getting a couple ourselves at this point. So Pogba on the ball, top of the area to Alberto, has a shot, but it's blocked. Pogba regains possession, gets past the defender. What a fantastic goal by Pogba. He stood at the top of the box, had a shot from Alberto that was completely blocked by the defence, but it fell to Pogba again. He took it in his stride, jinked past a defender. Here's the chance, the layoff to Alberto, block shot, dinks past a defender there, takes 2 of them out, and then slots into that far post. Brilliant finish by Paul Pogba, and just where you need a big player to step up, he has absolutely done that. And we go back to 3-2 on aggregate. Of course, if at this point Man City get a second goal themselves, the whole game is tied up and we'd go further into extra time and penalties potentially. So we've really got to be on our mettle at this point. So at 71 minutes, we're going to pause the game and just see what we can do to secure a little bit of a better performance as we move forward. There's a couple of really bad performances. Rabiot's just coming back from a bit of a knock and he's on a 6.4, but Mbappe and Neymar on a 6.2 and a 6.3 respectively. Now, are we brave enough to take both of those off? It's a bit of a tricky call, isn't it, to be honest? I think we're definitely going to take Rabiot off and protect him. Camavinga can come on. Now, the only other option we've got is if we potentially take Neymar off and bring someone like Curtis Jones on, and maybe take Icardi off and put Edouard on up top, or even move Mbappe up top. It feels like a really tricky decision. But those 2 ratings are really, they're screaming at me. I think we're going to do it. Don't tell anybody, will you? But we're going to take Mbappe off and Neymar off. Oh boy. And we're just going to reduce the positivity back to balanced. Try and keep the ball as much as we can as we continue to get through this last few minutes of the match. So we got just around 20 minutes to go without our 2 superstars now. But having said that, today They were passengers, not superstars, weren't they, really? Not achieving anything for us down those wide areas at all. And again, it's a short goal kick for Man City. This is what they've done to us before, down the right-hand side. Sterling, and there'll be Walker on the overlap. Can we find a way to secure that area this time round? They've switched it to the left-hand side, and he's got past his man into the box. And then we just about nicked the ball from them. Alexander-Arnold, and Pogba wins the header in midfield, which was really great. He's got a lot of height about him, of course. Sarabia takes over into the box himself, gets held up slightly, but just jinks it back to Alexander-Arnold, who gets the cross in, and Pogba again with a header inside the box. And on this occasion, it just grazes the top of the netting of the goal, and it goes out for a goal kick, unfortunately. But at least we put the pressure on, and we're down to a couple of minutes before the end of the game, before the final whistle. We've got a throw in down our end, and we've given it away in midfield. Cancelo and Rodrigo take over, and they've got one last chance down this left-hand side for them. But Alexander-Arnold again with a fantastic interception, and we sweep the ball out wide left to Jones. Jinks past a couple of players, gets into the box himself and puts it away. Curtis Jones, the youngster on loan from Liverpool, in the final seconds of the game, puts the game out of reach of Man City, and we go 4-2 up on aggregate, 2-1 up again on the night. It was a lovely bit of play by Jones. Once he'd got it into his stride, he then jinked past two defenders again, a bit like Pogba did for his goal, and then made no mistake. And there is the final whistle. And we go 4-2 through to the semi-finals of the Champions League over a very tricky Man City side. So we're not actually going to overanalyze this particular performance. What I want to say at this particular moment is today we just have to say I think we performed really well, and when the really good chances came to us, the likes of Pogba and Jones really did well to put our chances away, and that's where we won. We put our chances away. We only had 4 shots on target, and 2 of them went in the back of the net. So that's all I really want to say today. But from tomorrow's episode of From Hope to Glory, this particular slot is going to look quite different. You'll have to come back tomorrow and find out exactly what we're going to do with that. But if you enjoy this particular section, the analytical part of it, then I think you'll enjoy what's to come. But come back for tomorrow's From Hope to Glory at Truro City episode to find out what all that's going to be about. But for today's match, simply put, we put our chances away. We were clinical when we had the opportunity, and Man City weren't quite as bad as much as that, were they? And so in the end, we had a very, very good 4-2 win. Well, here we go. For next episode, we come up against Bayern Munich in the semi-final of the Champions League. Let's just go into our schedule and find out which way the games are going to happen. The first match, again, is away from home. That's decent. That's the way round I would want it. So we're going to come back for the second leg at home in the Champions League against Bayern Munich, hopefully having had a decent first game and kept the game as tight as we can, giving ourselves a chance in that second leg. So that's what's going to come up potentially. We've only got 2 episodes left. If we get to the final and win it, that ends the series, of course, in this second out of 3 seasons. If we don't win it, of course, then we go through to the 3rd season, and we've got a certain Erling Haaland in the wings waiting to join the club. So next season, there's an even greater chance that we could win it. But at the moment, the form is fantastic in the league. Of course it is. It's been fantastic in the Champions League. We beat Tottenham twice, and we beat Man City twice. Next up, Bayern Munich, another tricky affair, but they're going to find us as hard as we find them, surely. So join me next episode for that second leg in the Champions League semi-final against Bayern Munich at home. I will fill you in what happens in the meantime, and hopefully we can get a good away performance. But until next time, thank you for joining me today. today, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join my United City community. The more the merrier. There's lots of ways to participate in the United City community these days. Join me on Twitter or through my Discord. The links into that are in the description below. You can also support the channel through Patreon or visit my merch store, all sorts of great things. But I just really appreciate your company on these journeys. So thank you for that so far. Click a like button on this particular episode and help me get seen by lots more people. Until next time though, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.